Hello all. For this assignment, I'll be talking about a time I became a leader in a situation. I'll keep it school related and talk about a time when I was in a small groups communications class and became a leader. As an outline of the material I will cover, I will discuss the story, examine the situations through the lens of this class, identify my strengths and weaknesses, finally, what my approach will be going forward. So, today I'll be talking about my last semester attending community college before graduation and transferring here to Fresno State. However, before I could do any of this, I was enrolled in a small group communications course, and our last assignment was to present our last and final group presentation. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect my group members in any way, shape, or form, but whenever we would attend lecture, none of us would talk about the assignment. We would talk about other things. But for me, since it was my last semester and I wanted to graduate, the deadline was embedded in the back of my mind, and in my perspective, it was approaching fast. Therefore, since both the deadline and graduation were approaching, I took the initiative and asked the group if we could possibly meet at a set time and location so we can get the ball rolling, to which they agreed. So, coming to the meetings, it was actually a positive experience. I mean, there were ideas being exchanged, such as creating a Kahoot to pull our audience in a way that can make our presentation more interactive. Also, the pressure was real because, again, the deadline was approaching fast, which only helped to ensure everyone was doing what they had to do. Now, coming to the day of the presentation, it was flawless. We all knew what we had to do. We all had a flow that was superb. Moreover, in order to better understand why I am talking about this experience, we need to dissect the scenario and analyze it through the lens of this class. So, to start off with me taking the initiative and becoming the leader, why did I do this? Well, according to an article titled Leadership in Small Communications published in 2016, it was here that I constructed the answer. The text states, leaders emerge in groups that are initially leaderless. Therefore, what the quote is explaining is due to the gravity of the situation, being that no one was speaking up, I took this role and became the group's leader. Next, let's take a look at what happened in the classroom. When I was setting up a place and time to meet, what I was doing is known as effective communication. In fact, an article titled 8 Essential Leadership Communication Skills published in the year 2019, it explains this when it states, a leader is someone who inspires positive change by empowering those around them to work towards a common objective. We all had a common objective of completing the presentation and passing the class. Finally, let me analyze my own character in this scenario. By looking beneath the surface, I found that I became the group's leader. In addition, the in-class textbook explains this phenomenon when discussing what traits leaders possess. Now, for the sake of time, I'm only going to mention a couple. Let me begin with drive, which I identified when I wanted both to pass the class in order to graduate. But last but not least, a trait I identified was leadership motivation. This is seen when I saw no one in the group was taking initiative. Therefore, I took the initiative so I could reach my goal of completing the assignment. Furthermore, looking back now, I can see my strengths and weaknesses. A strength I showed was when I took initiative to become the group's leader. Now, a weakness I showed was procrastinating the assignment. So, what is the takeaway from this assignment? Well, I noticed the work environment the group we worked in was seen as a democratic style. Now, I would like to keep this style going in future assignments. That way, everyone feels included. In a whole, within this assignment, I explored a scenario where I depicted traits of a leadership and analyzed it through the lens of this class. Also, I identified both my strengths and weaknesses in the situation. Finally, what am I going to do? What stance or style will I do going forward? Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy my presentation.